working on her midi, working on her mid-range game, 15 to 17 feet out, being able to create some space for herself. Yes, this looks embarrassingly slow. No, it is not in slow motion. This is just what we have to work with right now.
The Indiana Fever players have been grinding in the gym all off-season. Their workout videos are going mega viral. Caitlin Clark's alone pulled in nearly 2 million views in just 24 hours. Then there's Angel Reese, whose PR team just leaked her training video in what feels like the most desperate response to the Fever's success I've ever seen.
Let's get it! Knockdown! Bang!
Hey man, we got a fire on the poop deck. Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! 4!
Bang!
Mayday!
Mayday!
Clear the runway! Brace for impact! AR-5 coming in heavy!
Bang!
Look alive, sunshine. Long 2, will it go through? Ha, no chance. Bang. Is it me, or is there only 2 rows behind the bench and they're like half full? I get better attendance on Monday nights in my men's league.
Come on, man! Bang!
While the Fever's videos show players like Aaliyah Boston perfecting post moves and Lexi Hull working on her three-point shooting for real game situations, Reese's video shows her pretending to be the next Steph Curry, firing threes, a skill she clearly doesn't need, especially after shooting a rough 44.5% from less than 5 feet last season. Let's talk about what's really going on here and why Reese and her team are missing the point entirely. If you're hyped for the Fever in 2025, comment the word champion down below. Let's go.
We got some footage from in the lab. That's right. She's in the damn gym. I'm just going to keep it real. I guess hell has frozen over, but she is in the gym practicing shots. And as you can imagine, there's real reaction to this.
Did you notice how the entire Indiana Fever team has been locked in the gym all off season? Their workout videos aren't just going viral. They're showing us what real championship preparation looks like. Unlike teams that only talk about putting in the work, the Fever players are showing their transformation step by step.
How are you? Good. How are you? So finally to meet you.
Yes.
What stands out in these training sessions is the sharp focus. Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull aren't just casually shooting around. They're specifically working on three-point shooting, finishing through contact, and building mid-range games that perfectly complement Clark's vision on the court. Hull's focus is especially interesting as she sharpens her catch-and-shoot technique and runs through screenplays, key elements in the Fever's motion offense that will open up scoring chances next season. You know what sets these videos apart from typical off-season content? Keith Porter, the Fever's player development coach, is actually there giving hands-on guidance. He's not just standing by. He even traveled with Aaliyah Boston to Massachusetts.
You know what?
Proving the team's dedication to every player's growth. This isn't your usual getting shots up session. These are personalized workouts built to target specific areas for improvement.
What up, Fever family? It's Coach Keith Porter. Today I got Aaliyah Boston in the gym. We're gonna working on some footwork, getting up and down the floor. Just working on being better today.
Are you ready for my hit?
But we'll make 5 hours. Build them backwards.
Yeah.
So eventually we're gonna get to like our whole set, but we're gonna isolate every single action and motion in it.
Yeah.
So this is just one of those fucked up motions.
Aaliyah Boston's training tells a clear story of strategic development. After teams adjusted their defense against her late last season, she's responding by perfecting left-hand post moves and adding a reliable floater. This isn't random improvement. It's targeted skill development that directly addresses the challenges she faced. Boston isn't just working out. She's evolving her game with purpose. The veterans are just as focused. Natasha Howard, Brianna Turner, and Dana Bonner are working on pick-and-roll actions, getting ready to take full advantage of the opportunities created by Clark's passing. This blend of individual training and team strategy shows the Fever are building something special. A system where every player's growth contributes to a shared goal. What's really fascinating about these workout videos is how directly they connect to real game situations. When Lexi Hull practices specific shots, you're not just seeing random drills. You're watching exactly how she'll score next season when Clark draws defenders and kicks the ball out. Every movement has purpose. Every rep has meaning.
I train about 4 or 5 days a week. A lot of young guns out there now that, they want to take your spot, and I don't blame them, but it's going to be hard because I'm going to go after it.
Isn't just about players getting in shape. It's a championship blueprint being drawn in real time. Each player is addressing specific weaknesses while sharpening their strengths, all within a system designed to bring out their collective best. The Fever aren't just hoping to improve. They're carefully building an offensive machine where every piece fits perfectly. The line between preparation and pretending just became crystal clear. After months of red carpet appearances and podcast tours, while Fever players were grinding in gyms across the country, Angel Reese's PR team suddenly felt the need to prove she was working too.
Lexi Hull being back in Indiana in the gym, working out. We saw Keith Porter in there. We saw Lexi shooting her shots. We saw Lexi with reverse layups.
But basketball fans quickly noticed something off about the conveniently timed workout video, and they didn't hold back in calling it out.
Angel Reese back in the gym practicing the 15 to 17 foot, but we see a lot in the Angel Reese practice footage of her working on this type of game, right? There's not too many practice videos that have been released on the Angel Reese front that doesn't involve her working with Lisa Leslie, that you see her working on her post moves, working around finishing around the basket, finishing around the rim.
Let's talk about what's actually in this video. Angel Reese, a 6 feet 3 inches post player who struggled significantly with finishing at the rim last season, is shown practicing long 2-pointers and 3-pointers, shots she rarely takes or makes in actual games. This disconnect between her real on-court weaknesses and what she's training on has left both analysts and fans completely baffled.
Nobody's guarding you. There's no chance you're going to get your shot blocked if you take a three. Nobody's guarding you. There's no way.
Way!
How does she get her shot blocked all the time, man? I don't get it. Never seen a professional basketball player make a layup look so awkward, so uncoordinated. Goes off the wrong foot. Call it the poopity scoopity shot.
Bang!
When little bro thinks he can play against the big bro.
Who's your daddy? Bang!
Angel, do the Dirk. Yeah, the Dirk. That fall away. Do it. Oh, yeah, look at that bag work.
Bang! This league rocks!
Chicago Sky supporters are especially frustrated. One fan directly asked, why is it Angel Reese's PR team releasing this and not the Chicago Sky? Another pointed out the obvious issue. Reese needs to work on her inside game, yet she's practicing 3-pointers when that's not even a role. This criticism highlights a fan base that understands basketball fundamentals better than the training being shown.
Feel somebody on your left side, like Pope says. Feel somebody on your left side, turn right. Feel somebody on your right side, turn left. We don't really see that with the Angel Reese workout videos. We see a lot of this, a lot of jump shots, set shots, catch and shoot, dribble, dribble, shot, dribble, dribble, pull up. Maybe we'll take it to the lane from 15 feet out on a drive, but not too much post plays.
What's glaringly absent in Reese's video is any sign of the Chicago Sky coaching staff. There's no structured development plan, no professional guidance to tailor drills for her specific weaknesses. Just Angel, a camera, and what looks like a rush session meant more for social media than actual improvement. Considering that Reese shot a dismal 5% from less than 5 feet. One of the worst percentages in WNBA history for a player taking that many shots from close range. You have to question why she's focusing on perimeter shooting instead of refining her finishing skills. Her 39.1% overall field goal percentage last season clearly calls for attention to layups and close range scoring, not 3-point shooting.
It's like WNBA leveling up and all eyes on her now. I think that she knows that she has to completely restructure her form because that is not the way to be efficient in the post position that she is in. At the post position that she's in, a layup is supposed to be a given. She needs to improve her touch around the rim, all over the place, but She seems to take these desperation shots.
Even more telling is how Reese seems to be ignoring advice from basketball royalty. Lisa Leslie reportedly told her, "Going into my season 2, what's some advice you'd give me? I can't wait to work with you more. The biggest advice I have for you is how you shoot your layups." Shaquille O'Neal has offered similar guidance on developing her inside game. Yet here she is, launching jumpers instead of perfecting post moves. The timing couldn't be more obvious. This wasn't part of a planned development program, but a reactive response after seeing the Fever's genuine training videos go viral. Basketball experts have called the video all flash, no substance, suggesting it prioritizes appearances over addressing real weaknesses.
Angel Reese was my power forward, and he saw this chart that we're looking at right now. And I see that when she's close around the basket finishing on layups, she's shooting 42%. And when I see Camila Cardoso around the basket finishing on layups, bottom of the chart, folks, she's finishing at a 56% clip. Well, if I'm Tyler Marsh, I am saying to myself, okay, let's make sure that this paint is not congested. So when we hand it to our big girl, when we hand it to our higher pick of the two from the 2024 WNBA draft, when we hand it to the better finisher out of the two, when we hand it to the better player out of the two offensively, let's make sure this paint is open so she has some room to operate.
You don't need to be a professional coach to spot the problem. When a player with fundamental finishing issues is working on completely the wrong skills, it suggests either a lack of self-awareness or poor developmental guidance, both concerning for a young player's career trajectory. When basketball experts talk about letting the numbers speak, they're not kidding. Behind Reese's glossy Instagram workouts lies a statistical reality that would make any shooting coach cringe. And it only gets worse the deeper you dive into the numbers. Her struggles extend far beyond the immediate basket area. Shooting less than 15% from 5 to 9 feet is catastrophic for a post player's offensive arsenal. Think about that. Making fewer than 2 shots out of every 10 attempts just a few steps from the hoop. That's not just a cold streak. It's a fundamental technical issue that demands immediate attention.
It's just a fact. She is, it's more than a fact. She is not good at layups. But I was looking at her stats. I jotted some down right here, and she shoots an abysmal 39% from the field. She shot below 50% on shots less than 5 feet away, which is bad. And even worse than that is that shots from 5 to 9 feet, 13%.
What's particularly revealing is the rebounding mirage these struggles create. Nearly 40% of Reese's rebounds last season came after her own missed shots. While grabbing your own miss shows hustle, when it happens this frequently, it creates a statistical illusion, inflating rebounding numbers while masking one of the most inefficient finishing rates for a player of her height and position. It's basketball's version of failing upward. Miss, rebound, miss again, repeat.
Great. She can get back to building that brick house on the hoop like she did last year. With her shot release, I don't know how she gets any shots off. Well, you heard what I said. And look, the guy's being objectively just critical when it comes to basketball. With that release, how is she getting shots off? It's real slow. It's a good question.
2 professional shooting coaches have pinpointed specific mechanical flaws holding Reese back. Her release point often starts too low, frequently at chest level, creating a pushing motion rather than a smooth shooting stroke. Even more problematic is her tendency to cross her wrists during her shooting motion, disrupting the alignment needed for accuracy. These aren't minor tweaks. They're fundamental issues that require dedicated technical overhauls. The contrast with Aaliyah Boston is impossible to ignore. While playing a similar position, Boston shot 55.2% from the field in her rookie season, demonstrating what efficient post play looks like. That 16 percentage point difference represents the gap between a player who can be relied upon to convert high percentage opportunities and one who squanders them.
Why in the world are we working on layups or not working on layups when you got such a problem and you're so inefficient with your inside ball game? I just don't understand it. All right. Not only that, but that release is still draggy and slow. All right. You're a 4. Why are you shooting that far away? I get it. Eventually, you got to develop a jump shot. But you got to get the fundamentals down first.
Boston's approach to improvement further highlights the disconnect. Her workouts focus meticulously on footwork drills, touch finishes around the rim, and left-hand development, all skills that directly address the demands of her position. Meanwhile, Reese's workouts showcase perimeter shots she rarely takes or makes in actual games, completely ignoring the glaring issues with her interior finishing. You don't need an advanced degree in player development to recognize the problem. Reese is practicing the wrong skills entirely. When a 6 feet 3 inches post player with such abysmal finishing statistics is filming workouts dominated by 3-point attempts, it suggests a concerning lack of self-awareness about her actual role and weaknesses.
Lead the league in brick layups and single-handedly keeping their team out of the playoffs once again. Look, I'm watching for some real interesting things to happen this year. Can she cure the layup issue? That's a big one. Number 2, will the Chicago Sky sideline their real superstar, Carmilla Cardozo, for Angel Reese? That ball should be feeding from the outside in through that big that can absolutely dominate.
This misalignment between statistical reality and practice focus isn't just disappointing. It's potentially career-limiting. In a league where roster spots are precious and player development windows close quickly, addressing the wrong problems is a luxury no player can afford. Career longevity in the WNBA isn't about how many followers you have. It's about evolution. What we're seeing from Clark and Reese right now could be the difference between a future Hall of Famer and a whatever happened to trivia question.
But now they're in that world. And so my only advice is usually just to make sure they keep basketball the main thing, because at the end of the day, that is your vehicle. It's your vehicle to, Angel Reese has a podcast. It's her vehicle to be a podcaster, right? Whatever Caitlin ends up doing, it's the vehicle to get you to that point. So you always want to make sure that part doesn't fall.
Veterans like Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird didn't dominate for 2 decades by accident. They constantly added new dimensions to their games, refining skills and adapting to changing defensive schemes. This blueprint for sustained success is something Clark seems to understand intuitively, while Reese appears to be heading in a completely different direction. Look at Clark's methodical approach to improvement. She's focusing on the precise areas that challenged her as a rookie, tightening her handle against pressure, expanding her mid-range arsenal, and finishing through physical contact. This isn't random development. It's strategic evolution, following the path blazed by multi-time MVPs.
Back in her natural habitat, back in the lab, playing basketball, and it's got to be a scary sight for the rest of the WNBA if she gets even better, because it's not as if she wasn't absolutely phenomenally elite as a rookie and arguably the best player in the league after the Olympic break.
Meanwhile, Reese's focus remains puzzlingly split. As her social media following grows, her fundamental basketball weaknesses remain unaddressed. WNBA history offers a sobering reality check. The league's landscape is littered with former top draft picks who flamed out after their rookie contracts because they failed to expand beyond their initial strengths. The same defensive adjustments that exposed Reese's limitations last season will only become more sophisticated unless she dramatically shifts her approach. Basketball development specialists identify the second year as a critical window, a make-or-break period where players either address vulnerabilities or watch as opponents ruthlessly exploit them. Clark is attacking this window with purpose, clearly understanding what's at stake. For Reese, this window appears to be an afterthought, overshadowed by brand partnerships and media appearances.
It's a balance. You have to find that balance. But when you look at some of the other athletes, particularly men, who've set a little bit of a blueprint in terms of the business and the sport, you never see LeBron miss a workout.
What's particularly concerning for Sky fans is how Reese's marketing value is already eclipsing her on-court contributions, a dangerous imbalance that rarely ends well in professional sports. The WNBA spotlight can be both unforgiving and fleeting. When initial fascination fades, only skill development ensures staying power.
I just don't understand why she practices this move. She will never use it in the game, and who is actually going to be faked out by it? She seems like she should be working on layups. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Seriously. A lot of people saying the same thing. Everybody knows what the big deficiency there is, and it's within 5 foot. Within 5 foot of the basket. That shot had a 2-factor authentication. Okay. I can't dispute that. Forget step back shots, layup drills, man. Work on what Lisa Leslie taught you.
The contrast between these approaches reveals something fundamental about professional sports careers. Clark is laying the groundwork for a decade plus of elite performance by addressing specific weaknesses that limited her effectiveness. Her commitment suggests she understands that long-term relevance requires continuous reinvention. Reese, conversely, risks having her potential ceiling determined by the skills she brought into the league rather than what she develops after her arrival.